Tarkov is not dying. You hear me? Tarkov is not dying. Yet every day we hear the same old rant from a bunch of whiny entitled Tarkov streamers who cry and cry for their viewers. Feeding them negativity like it's candy. Feeding them lies to keep their dwindling viewer counts up. It's all for money, folks. The views, the donations, the AV revenue. But guess what? The truth is louder, and I'm here to talk about it. I have crunched the numbers. Version 13 had 183 million kills by PMC, and version 14 had 276 million. That's 93 million more kills between the two versions. Are you going to tell me that a dying game who lost all its players is going to almost get another 100 million kills, an almost 50% increase across an entire wipe? Just look at the loot extracted and sold. We made an extra 869 trillion rubles. This is absolute proof there are more players playing between these versions. Now that PvE is here, you may see a drop, but honestly, I believe more people are playing than ever before because of PvE. Now, when they get bored and they have done most things in the game, where do you think the PvE players are going to go? Back to PvP, obviously. It's a training ground for future PvP players. Honestly, the best thing BSG can do is speed up progression on PvE, because once those players feel comfortable, they will be back in the PvP servers. But the crybaby streamers will talk about how the Twitch viewer count is lower, but they won't talk about how that in 2020, when everybody was indoors more, and you know why, every game's viewership increased during that. But if you look at other games, you'll notice a trend. PUBG had 7K viewers with 519,000 active players. Rust had 7K viewers, but only 92,000 viewers. Tarkov had 2K more viewers than both of them at the same time. Do you think anyone with a brain can see that these Twitch viewers don't determine active player bases? What do we have? A 519,000 active players like PUBG? Or do we have only 50-something thousand from Rust? We had 2K more viewers, so clearly we are better than Rust and PUBG. So maybe we got 800,000 active players. You can't use Twitch viewers as a representation of how active this game is. It just means your money's dying. When we compare keyword searches, Tarkov beats out every other game. It doesn't help us pinpoint how many active players there are, because BSG doesn't release those information. But it can give us a guess that it isn't dying. Notice how Tarkov has 201,000 searches in 30 days, but Rust only has 135,000. PUBG had only 90,000 and DayZ had only 74,000. Remember what the active player counts for some of those were? Of course we aren't Siege or CSGO, but we are definitely number one in our genre, folks. Tarkov is alive, and it's more vibrant than ever. But this community's been poisoned by streamers who farm views with negativity because it sells. And guess who's paying the price? You, the viewer, the true Tarkov enthusiast. This view farming is ruining Tarkov more than anything else. You want to know why Tarkov's not dying? Because it's not about the KD ratio. It's not about avoiding conflict. Certainly not about how many hours you've clocked in the game. It's about skill. It's about experience. It's about growing through trial and error. That's how you learn. That's how you get good at this game. But no, these streamers, these so-called Tarkov gods, they're out here crying about how the game is too hard. I hate inertia. The economy is broken. The loot is worthless. And it's a shame I say, because it's clear they have lost their passion for this game. True lovers of this game know how horribly amazing this game is. No other game has ever came close to this. The Tarkov killers never even scratched the surface of what makes this game amazing. These influencers want you to believe that Tarkov is on the brink of collapse. They want you to think that it's an unplayable mess, that the community's toxic, that the game devs don't care about you. Go look at the patch notes for the last 2 years. We've gotten 2 new maps, multiple map expansions, a map rework, almost 35 new guns, multiple new bosses, new mechanics like shoulder transition, constant rebalancing, plus an entire other game. The devs have constant podcasts, updates, interviews. They put out an entire mini-series TV show thing. They constantly talk to the whiny streamers about what they do. But these whiny streamers, these crybabies, they're not helping the game. They're not helping the community. They're using the negativity for their own gain. It's about time we call them out. They talk trash at the devs and the game for months, then beg the games for attention. When a cool event comes up, they lap up the attention they get from the devs. Then they turn around and view farm negativity once again. You see, folks, Tarkov has changed. And I'm not talking about the updates or the maps. I'm talking about the real shift that's about to happen. Tarkov's evolving and becoming more accessible. You want to talk about difficulty? Yeah, there's still a challenge. But guess what? The core mechanics, the difficulty, it's still there. But there's something different now. Something beautiful. Quality of life changes. Things like a wishlist system. The ground zero servers for players under level 21. Do you know what that is? It's a welcome mat for new players. It's a lower skill ceiling for those that want to learn. That's right, the game making it easier for new players to get in, to figure out the ropes and be better without getting stomped by top tier grinders. But do these Tarkov influencers talk about that? Oh no, they'd rather cry about how the game's a niche title and how the player base is shrinking. But if you ask me, the only thing that's shrinking is their egos. They can't handle it. It's too hard for them to realize that the game is still growing, still thriving. And who's to thank for that? Not these complainers, it's the real players. The ones who put in the time, the ones who've learned, the ones who know the real truth. Tarkov is a game that you learn through trial and error, through experience, through getting knocked down and getting back up. It's a test of your ability, your resolve, your confidence. And that's where these pro streamers fail. They can't handle the grind. They can grind quests. Quests are easy. Everybody can grind quests. Your level does not make you good at the game. It just means that you got enough EXP from questing. No, they can't handle dying. They cry for the views. They cry for the attention. Guess who's listening? A whole generation of viewers who think they're learning from the best, but they're not. They're learning how to whine, folks. It's time to realize something. Tarkov is here to stay. The changes are only making it better. The loot, the mechanics, the bosses, they're all moving forward. The community has been too focused on the negative, but it's time to shift gears, shift focus, flip some switches, and embrace the growth. It's time for the community to stop listening to the crybaby top streamers and the ones who've built their brands off complaining, off fear-mongering, off negativity. Tarkov is not dying. It's only getting stronger. If you're out there listening to these crybabies, stop. Do your research. Get in the game. Learn through your mistakes and become the best player you can be. Tarkov will teach you. It's always been about the journey, the challenge, the struggle. And if you're a streamer that agrees with my message here today, start a positive movement. If you love Tarkov and you know it's amazing, preach it. Stand with me in solidarity of positivity. Push a new narrative that Tarkov is the best game ever made. Be proud of it. Use the stats I showed you here. Arm yourself with knowledge and tell the world why you love Tarkov. Make positive content for the community and the community will grow even more. Tarkov is not dying.
If this video helped you in any sort of way, consider following me over on my TikTok, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, wherever you want to. Your best support's over on my Kick channel. That's where you can support me the most. Remember, every single day is a good day. Some days are just tougher than others. Show love and appreciation to those you care about.